Well, welcome to Show Me the Money Rugby League TV on YouTube with myself, Mick, the game caller Gledhill. We've got young Joe Me the Money, we've got Jimmy Mack, and of course the King, Craig Show Me the Money Harrison. What we're going to do now, when we want to involve you lovely people in the comments, is let us know who has been the standout player from the Super League, from the Championship, and of course League One. So that is what we're going to task you lovely people with. Let us know in the comments, and certainly on next week's full 80 minutes we will go through some of your comments and discuss some of the players who you feel are worthy of the accolade of the Player of the Season award. Now, we know we're just past the halfway point in the Super League, the Championship and League One, so we've had a lot of Rugby League and minutes on the field to sort of digest and dissect which players are going to be in contention for the award. We'll start from left to right, and we'll start with the Super League. So, Craig Harrison, over to you. The Super League standout player of the season so far.
Well, the Super League standout player so far has to be Jai Fields. That doesn't come across as being like too hard to think about. It's probably about 10 seconds. I think he's X Factor. I think he's fantastic for game. I think he's the most exciting runner, along with Bevan, we've had for many years. I think the Saints fullback's the last person who's had this type of... what were the Saints fullback?
Yeah, he won Man of Steel, but then was disgraced.
Well, don't as far as I disgraced him, but yeah,
was.
The fullback at Saints.
He lost the award.
The fullback at Saints. Oh my God.
Ben Barber.
Ben Barber, that's shocking by me, by the way. Worst guy used, not saying his name.
I was waiting for you to
so
come out
Ben
with
Barber, I think he's had that type of impact, and before that, you're probably talking young Sam Tompkins, that type of free runner. I think he's fantastic. I think he talks well. He's great for that. He's put Wigan. People are buzzing to get and watch Wigan again. So he'd be my one, and I'm going to throw a lad, what I call a money baller of the year, which we have done on the previous shows. Now, it's unfair of me because I know what salary this lad's on, and I'm not putting pressure on the club where he's at to give him an increase. I've actually texted him this morning, so he'll kill me. Ryan Brearley, for me, has been absolutely outstanding. Ryan is one of them players, a bit like Marmite to some people. Oh, he can't do this, he can't tackle, he don't do yardage. Let me tell you, at 29 or 28-year-old, whatever he is, Ryan Brearley is playing the best football of his life. And if you watch every try, I'm watching myself, and I'm watching tries, I see Ryan. I think he's got better defensively, he's got better in his yardage. He's getting braver, and he's getting better, and he's still held that pace. So my money baller of the year in Super League is Ryan Brearley.
Nice. My Super League player of the year so far, who I mentioned earlier, is Chris McQueen. I think I was close to saying Latelli, but I think I've looked at which team has done far better than I thought they would do, and that's Huddersfield, and yeah, they're all doing well, aren't they? But McQueen just stands out. He scored a boatload of tries. His effort's superb, and it just seems when you watch the players when they're together, even when they've conceded a try or just before our time, he seems to be a really big voice for that team as well. And I think he's possibly one of Watson's main voices on the pitch. He seems to be leading by example and performing just brilliantly every time I've seen him play. And then Moneyballer, go with the show me lad, and that'll be Corey Hall. I think after a wonderful move engineered by this man, but to find out that you're not really in the plans for Leeds is horrendous for anybody, and same with any lad who comes out of a top Super League team. So to go and do what he's done this year and almost been thrown into it immediately, arguably had a little bit of luck to get his opportunity, but to take it with both hands and put in such consistent performances, not only in the games where Wakefield have done well, but also in the games when Wakefield have struggled, is performing like a senior pro. So to be able to psychologically pull out those performances after a little bit of adversity and settle in so quickly to being a starting Super League player, I think is magnificent.
My Super League Player of the Year, I'm obviously I would go Jai. I think Jimmy's players, though Chris McQueen's been awesome, but I'm going to go someone who's actually had questions that were given to him at the start of the season, and I think at this point now, I think he's answered them, and I think I'm going to go Jake Truman, obviously at Castleford. I think he had a slower start than he had some people coming for him saying, "Oh, what's he doing?" Obviously, all the talk and that, and he's put it all to bed. I think at this point now of the season, I think he's been playing unbelievable. He's some of the things. Obviously, everyone knows some of the things he can do. It's phenomenal. It's world class to watch him because he does all the subtle things well. I don't know how smart he is, but he could. I think secretly under his talk, he's a genius. Yeah, I think he's a genius. So that would be my player from now. Obviously, without taking out like the top couple. If I'm going someone a bit different, I'm going to go Jake Truman. And my money baller, I've got to go. I don't know how much this guy's money on, actually. I could shoot myself in the foot here. But I'm going to go Harry Smith at Wigan. I don't know, has he had the big contract extension yet? No. Yeah, so I'm going to go Harry Smith. I think he's come into a team that obviously struggled a bit last year in their different way, in the playoffs at least. And he's come in, took that starting half-back role by the scruff of its neck and won and been playing phenomenal this year. So I think Harry Smith is my money baller of the year.
I was going to go Jai Field. I still probably will do based on the entertainment and the wow factor. And we know he had his injury last season, and Wigan and Adrian Lamb didn't really get the benefit of him. If I was looking elsewhere, maybe Tui Lola here at Huddersfield, and how Ian Watson has, moved him in the new position there, and how he's been integral. Again, Chris McQueen from Jimmy, a real good shout. I saw his effort and performance in the flesh the other week when Huddersfield beat Leeds, and listen, is this an absolute machine, a workhorse? And I'm not sure how many metres he's doing in a game, but unbelievable. But I think you've got to give it to Jai Field, just for based on those performances and how integral he's been for Wigan. And I think what's telling is St Helens are top of the pile, and we've not picked anyone from St Helens.
I can't believe you've come to that great point. I was about to say exactly the same point.
We've not, I was thinking like, you look at if Lewis Dodds were playing, James Robe is, he's still doing it.
Awesome,
he's still having that influential figure.
I'd say Morgan Knowles.
Morgan Knowles,
the best player in the comp.
Yeah, I was very close to saying Knowles, but also Lomax, because I still think for years, I know he gets some plaudits, but it always seems that there's someone taking a little bit of limelight away, whether it be Roby coming to the end of his career and hitting appearance things. But Lomax is just awesome every week. And now he's lost his halfback partner, he's having to do more again. And I know he gets some credit, but sometimes I think he doesn't get anywhere near as much as he deserves, because he's just how much of a leader he is and how he controls games. He's just absolutely the best since Danny Maggs for me.
Big call that, Jim. Yeah. I think, and I'm going to chuck another name out there. I think if we're looking at the stats, if we're going stats, we've got to go Jake Connor, aren't we, on his assists? Yeah. I think Jake Connor's had his pug.
I'm looking at Craig's face here.
He's had his poor games.
Jake in attack, if you're picking, but I don't see Jake for me, has got to be better at the other stuff to be the person you're going to say.
It's just not consistent enough, is it? That's his battle.
It's just the other stuff, the defensive, the yardage,
but then he's won games single-handedly, and he's won quite a few games for Hull single-handedly by dominating Hull's attack. I think I don't think we can talk about a best player of the year and not at least mention his name. It's like 4 or 5. It's like 4 higher.
But I just even think with the way Hull are as a club at the moment, the position they are, I don't think he's had that much of influence. They're like halfway off, 6th, 7th.
The 6th. That's
6th.
Not.
I think if you look at,
he's missed quite a lot though. He's missed quite a lot of games.
Yeah, he's been in and out.
When he's played, he's put some massive performances, but.
Well, let us know in the comments for Super League. That's Super League. 2 votes for Jai Field, a commendable one from myself for Tui Lola here. Jimmy went for Chris McQueen and Joe went for Jake Truman. So, yeah, get your comments in. Let us know. For the championship then, Craig, or am I starting?
I'm going to start, mate.
Yeah.
It is your expertise, but I'm going to try and challenge you, I think, on my choice.
Okay.
So, first of all, and I'm going to go for, if you allow me, I'm going to throw 3 in. I'm not going to put a money border in championship because it's very hard to guide.
Yeah.
You know, you're not guaranteed, but I'm going to throw 3 in, and I forget the first one's pronunciation. The Lee hooker is
Pape.
Edwin Pape.
Pape. He'd be right up there.
Yeah.
I like this lad. He's a fullback for a top 5-6 club, and I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. I don't know which player he is, and every time I've watched him and what the people say, it's Luke Cooley. I think he's a Bradford lad.
He was, yes, and Wakefield, yeah.
He's right.
Come through Bradford Academy,
he
yeah.
seems to be a fantastic player, and every time I've watched him...
Well, Luke Cooley probably would be your Moneyball player based on... I know what Luke's on at Batley,
right.
and let me tell you...
Yeah, he's having a great...
I'm surprised he's not being picked up as a project player for a Super League club.
There's a lot of clubs who've been looking at him over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
He'd be right up there in my choices. My other choice, it's a personal choice as well, a bit like the Ryan Braley one. I think the lad's been through diversity, he's been through it, but he's absolutely outstanding. It's Morgan Smith of Featherstone. I think we're talking about Harry Smith playing in Joe's talking about Harry being able to be a regular in a Wigan side. Fantastic for such a young age. Pretty hard for Morgan to keep it. He's had Tom Holmes, one of ours, Dane Chisholm, and now the French
Geoffrey.
Jonathan Ford.
Ford, and he's managed to keep all 3 out of the team. So that's pressure. They've brought 3 different ones, and he's getting picked every week by Brian McDermott, a 4-time winning grand final coach, which tells you he's doing a hell of a job. So if I have to go in order, Lee Pape, Luke Cooley, Morgan Smith.
Okay.
Morgan Smith's a great show.
Jimmy?
I've tried to not be too biased with just show me lads. So I'll start with a non-show me player who's coming to the golden years of his career, but the way he's been taking Sheffield around this year, Anthony Thackeray, I think still... I think there's talk that it last year might have been his last year. There's talk this year might be his last year, and if that's the case, and he's perhaps trying to go out on a high, he's certainly doing that because he's been absolutely superb every time, and I've seen him play a lot, and he's just been absolutely brilliant and a big part of what they're doing. And I think one of my other players, another Sheffield player, is Tyler Dickinson, who I know from. Certainly the coach perspective, he's been his main man this year, and he's another player who's played Super League, gone on a different journey to some, and had to come back and rebuild. And I think he's getting to that age now. He's still young, and he's really physically he's bang on. He's enjoying his time there, and I don't think there's a middle in the competition who enjoys playing against him. His work rate, big minutes, and it's been superb. Third is, we were at York yesterday, and although York didn't win, this lad had a right game, James Glover. He's been a top centre in the Championship for years now, and he's someone who we thought for a while could have, if he got injured at a bad time, he could have been someone who made the step up.
Might Pete give him a massive mention this morning, to be fair to him, so I don't know I might have watched him, but he said, wow, you'd have liked to have a real crack at him.
Yeah. I mean, he was up against Maludi yesterday, and Maludi probably is the hardest man to tackle in the Championship. You've got Big Bopper, haven't you, at York, but he did a right job on him. He just whacks people. He works hard, and he knows how to score tries. And it was a big move for him to leave Sheffield because he'd had a good time there, but wanted a change. And under 40, I think he's playing on the wrong side as well, really, for what you'd think, and he's been superb. So yeah, they're my Championship 3.
I think my Championship 3, I'm going to start with York City Knights. Another York City Knights player, different from Jimmy's, Jody Thompson. I think Geordie's been phenomenal this year. Every time I watch him, he's just an animal, just an apps. That's my description for him. Just an animal on the pitch, tackles hard, runs the ball in hard, and you can see he's a very big focal point of that York team's probably leadership. As they look for him, he inspires the team when he gets going. York gets going. If he's a bit slower, York are normally a bit slow. I think he's the focal point, and then the other players I think work around him. But Geordie, I think in my view, Geordie's the man at York, the leader at York. And then for excitement levels, I think I'm going to go for pure entertainment. I'll probably get in trouble for this one, but T. Ritson, I think for excitement levels, I think he definitely has.
In trouble. It's unbelievable.
He definitely has some things to work on, probably in his game a bit, but pure just speed. Athleticism. Try scoring fun.
Would he beat if there were him Bevan and Jai? Who wins?
It'd be close.
Yeah, I think can't be.
I think it'd be close.
I actually, and this is not saying
I think Jai.
No, you know what? I'd have him. I think I'd have Ritson.
Theopol Ritson.
If they put a charity bet up,
just a sprint race.
I think Jai beats Bevan, and I think Jai and T's the race.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I said. I still got Jai, ever so slightly.
I think T for excitement level in there. He probably should be Super League, but he's got a lovely job up there, and he's got a nice situation. I think he's happy from what we've heard, so I think that's why he's there. But brilliant on Jai. And then I'm gonna go. I'll support Bradford Bulls a bit here, Mick, and I think Tommy Doyle's been brilliant. He's obviously. I think he's destined for Super League, if you don't mind me saying, Mick. I don't want to...
No, it's a fair comment.
Any feathers, but I think he's destined for Super League. He's probably one of the, if not behind Pape, of course. Sorry, I've read and mentioned that. I'd say Pape, but Dad mentioned Pape. I didn't want to double up.
Is Doyle a show me player?
No, he's not, sadly. But
I remember telling you, Craig, for a year ago, you need to sign him. You didn't.
Fair play to other agents. I don't mind that. We can't have them all. John Bastin also spoke very highly of Thomas from being a young man, so... Good on whoever looks after him. Hopefully he stays loyal to him. That's what it's for.
And I'm going to chuck one more in there.
Well, Mick, your referee's had 3.
Yeah, you've had 3.
So I've just got one more quick mention. I'm going to go Ryan King at Whitehaven. I think he's also scored a lot of tries. He's their best player by a good bit on the day. Ryan's been the one.
We've got our other players there, Joyce. No.
Yeah, Kieran's been in and out, been at cast reserves, but for week in, week out, you've got to say...
It knows how to find a try line.
Yeah, you've got to say Ryan King, he's a big lad, got some great hands, got a nice pair of feet on him. I'm going to also chuck Ryan King in there as like a...
Okay, on to me.
Interest in this.
Big call, big call.
Interest in this.
Big calls.
Historically, you've gone Bradford.
My top 3 deck pattern, no. No, we're doing it neutral. I'm you know what? I'm trying to not let what happened yesterday and that league performance cloud. But you know, if I'm being honest with myself, you know, you look at Featherstone and you look at the fantastic players they've got, and yes, they have strengthened. Your John Fords, Mark Corrala when he played against Bradford on that Monday night a couple of weeks ago, defensively, offensively, he's got to be in there. You've already mentioned. Edwin Ipape, you know, 22 years of age. He's just come out of nowhere. You know, he's only got a couple of Papua New Guinea caps. He's been playing he's been playing for the Papua New Guinea Hunters over there in Papua New Guinea, and he's just come out of nowhere. And I watched him yesterday, and he's still only 22. He's very raw, you know. And I can see Chesney and Lam at end. You know, he's still got. He can still learn so much, and that's really scary. So if I was gonna have 3, Edwin Ipape 110% is in there just for the skill level and everything that he can do and everything that he's brought to that Lee Centurion side. You look at Lee again, Christian Inu, you know, he's now up to 14 tries for the season, got an hat-trick yesterday, he's kicking goals off the touchline.
Has Benjamin Bishop not got as many tries for a struggling side?
I'm not going...
15?
Craig, I'm not just picking Christian Inu because of the tries that he scored. I'm talking about his defence. Yeah. You know, he is an absolute man mountain. Wait till I clip the footage yesterday. Poor Sam Hallis is this. You know what Sam's like? He's like a little Yorkshire Terrier. Sam's like, you're getting it, Inu. Inu just goes to him, bang, no word of a lie, Craig. When you see it, and I'll send you it, Sam goes flying 5 metres backwards. Wow. I have never seen anything like it.
Slamming Sam.
And I feel sorry for poor Fogging Johnson, because them high-hanging kicks, and he was just there catching it like sweets from a pinata and putting it down in the corner. But look, you could put Blake Ferguson in there. You could.
I mean, we've not said Nene McDonald, to be honest.
I know. I was going on to that. I was going on to Nene McDonald. 16 tries. Yeah. Didn't play his best game yesterday. Looked a little bit knackered, if I'm being honest. Yeah. But look, I've got to have Christian in. I've got to have Christian Inu in there based on what I've seen. Very consistent. Getting towards top point scorer in the championship, and then you're left to think about, well, you know, who else? Because like you say, there's so many fantastic players.
Joe Keys, Halifax.
Joe Keys at Halifax. You know, you look at what Halifax are doing, but I wouldn't be doing myself a disservice if there wasn't at least one Bradford player.
Oh, here we go.
And we know Bradford have had a very inconsistent season. But one player. I'm not sure what he's on, but I don't think he'd be on a lot of money. And I know he's a part-time player, and bless him, I was messaging him last night, and he's gone to work this morning. I'm going to go with Kieran Gill. I think, pound for pound, based on the money he's on as a part-time player, he's scored 14 tries now this season. And I know you can talk about Bish and McDonald, but, you know, for what he is on in terms of money on the cap, listen, 14 tries, and he's really impressed in defence. I know at Newcastle there were questions from Dennis about, you know, defensively, but listen, he has been by far, in my opinion, taking nothing away from any Bradford players. Kieran Gill's been the standout player, the standout signing, and you know, John Keir might have got a couple of the players he's brought in wrong. I think he'd admit that. Mark Dunning, Bradford fans would admit some of the recruitment hasn't lived up to expectations, but if you're asking for somebody who's really stood out in a inconsistent Bradford side, it's got to be Kieran Gill. And I know he scored yesterday, but look, 14 tries. You take them 14 tries away, Bradford, they're out of the Challenge Cup at London, and they haven't got the wins that they've got. So, yeah, I know he's not going to be in everybody's team, but if we're purely talking about someone who's part-time, who's probably living above expectations, I've got Kieran Gill in there.
Okay.
League One. Let us know in the comments, by the way, for the championship.
League One.
Yeah, League One, I'm going to go for first of all, I've got two I'm going to throw at you. The first one is somebody who probably, am I going to say underachieved or what? Or did he overachieve? I don't know. When I first saw him play, scored an hat-trick on Sky on a Thursday night, I believe. And we couldn't believe it. We thought, they were saying the next Danny Maguire, the way he played, the way he supported play, and he's probably been up and down. I think he's been at about 5 clubs. But the bits I've seen this year, Greg McAnally would have to be one of the best players in Champ 1. He's probably a bit like Ryan Braley. They say the other stuff, the tough, the this, but we shouldn't take away if you can actually play to that ability and support and pass. We should look at the strengths and not the weaknesses. I think he left Bradford. Did he leave Bradford, Mick?
Yeah, his wife was poorly, so he had to move back across the Pennines.
So he's probably been, and from the first time we saw him, he played for a Cumbria club, didn't he?
Yeah, it was Whitehaven against Salford on a Thursday night. Yeah, when he was 18. In fact, he was 16 because he had school the next morning.
And every club in the country were crazy. Every club in the country couldn't believe this kid scored an hat-trick in the way he did it. So he's had a great career. He'd been my one, and then I'm going to throw a stalwart in. And I'm probably a little bit biased here, so I apologise before I do this. But there's a lad who's played in Champ 1 probably quite about 8 years now. And I've watched him progress from being a young man who used to sit behind us at Doncaster. And he used to carry the tee on. And he'd sit on his own and he'd be practising kicks and kicks and kicks and kicks. And I think at 14 he had about a 95 completion from anywhere. Gailey would tell you better, because I think Gailey was a young man and he beat Gailey in a kicking competition at about 13, 14. And he's stuck in there and stuck in there. And he's had a lot on it. And I thought, he's probably a yard short of being a proper player. And they used to say defensively, again, he wasn't. Jack Miller at Keighley would be somebody who I just got a lot of respect for. I think his dad's a wonderful man. They've kept in. They've been fantastic. But he's, in all the signings they made at Keighley, and I watched him last year and I thought it was brilliant. And I watched it and I'm thinking, Will Jack lose his place? Well, he hasn't lost his place, and he's excelled.
Club captain.
And Scott Morell's gone onto the bench, I think. And so my second player is Keithley's Jack Miller.
Jimmy, over to you.
Well, there's a running theme with all three of my selections because we're all at the same club, and it's Cornwall because I think these. First of all, he's joining us on the show next week, so. Yeah, maybe.
Plug that 3 times now, Jim. I'm thinking of a chuff for that.
Yeah, get the Cornwall fans excited. But Harry Aronson went down there at the start of the year before there was anywhere near as much positivity around the club, and when there were very much, everyone just questioning a lot of the decision and a lot of things there were, and whether they'd even have a chance. But he made the decision early doors and wanted to be part of it, and he's having a great time, scoring tries for fun. He's a leader within the team. Played a big part in their first win last week. So yeah, I'm gonna pick him. Alongside him, his teammate Joe Purcell, who's one of the halves there, who runs the team. Great in attack. He's a witness lad. Also down there for the season, and he's a tough bugger as well. The amount of times he puts big hits in and people just aren't expecting it because he's not a big man. But
is he your player as well?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you're just picking your own players?
No, that's what. If you noticed in the earlier rounds, I deliberately didn't pick my players. Just to be fair.
Cornwall I don't get it. Cornwall have lost every game apart from one, and you put 2 in the championship, 1 player a year. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
You can go for easy choices and pick Jive.
Well, not easy, right? Mick, referee, even a word here.
Yeah,
Jimmy picked bottom at league.
I know Jimmy can do what he wants.
As long as you justify.
I was just going to have a look at the
selections.
bottom of the league. I don't think they are bottom of the league, are they? No, West Wales are. Yeah.
But the reason is they're doing it hard and they're up against it every week. So of course, I could pick Jack Miller and he's doing a brilliant job, but he's playing in a team that's killing everyone. So I'm looking a bit outside the box, so we don't, I'll pick the same. And the other one is Aaron Jones Bishop.
He picked all 3 his own players.
Yeah, remember at the start when I said they all play for the same team? They still all play for the same team.
They're all your players.
You're happy with all this, here.
You got to justify your selections. That's what it's about.
I love the lads, but I thought we were saying the best player in the comp, and then
we're talking about our best players, and you've got to give reasons, haven't you? How many times have you seen Jack Miller play?
probably 10.
Right, none. So the reason why Aaron Jones Bishop,
Just answered you 10.
you've watched Keithley 10 times this year.
Yeah, no, not this year.
No, we're on about the best player this year.
How many times have you watched them this year?
About 7.
On the podcast?
Yeah, on the coverage.
And you've seen enough out of them 3 players to be championship on players a year.
Oh, dear me.
I'm giving reasons for him. Reasons for him.
I can't believe as the referee you've not challenged that. It's me to challenge it. You just sat there and gone, ugh.
Right, Jimmy. If Jimmy genuinely believes
I'll
these
tell you my reason. I'll tell you my reason for Aaron Jones.
Even Sam's putting it up.
Well, Aaron left Hunslet to go down.
Aaron had had a really tough couple of years. He'd been injured for 2 years, and he wasn't getting a look in. And he went down there, and he's scoring tries and playing brilliantly.
But he's only played 3 games.
And I don't.
He's played 3 games.
He's played more than that. And I
Played
don't.
3 or 4 for Cornwall.
Yeah, I think it's 5.
Jimmy, I'm the referee.
He's played 5 games.
Whoa.
Whoa.
We're going to stop the clock.
Listen,
Jimmy.
You've got to
He's
say.
played 5 games. He's been brilliant in the 4 games that he's played.
Jimmy, hear me out. We're doing the League One. Yeah. We're doing Players of the Year. You pick 3 from the second from bottom club. That's 1 game.
And I'm justifying.
Don't talk rubbish. Go for 10 minutes. Go on.
Yes.
Go for 10.
Glenel's finally done it.
Go for 10.
Yeah. My last point is,
Jimmy.
you only get to see. I'm only judging off what I see. I've not seen.
If Cornwall have got
only
these
seen
3
some teams play.
superstars, and I'm not. Listen, we can have this debate next week. But if Cornwall have got these 3 superstars, they would not be second from bottom.
Remember the
names. Bottom of
names. Remember the names. We'll see Joe Purcell.
I'll turn the yellow to a red.
We'll see Harry Aronson.
Right.
We'll see.
All right, no worries. You title, Joe.
My one is. Again, it's I can't look away from Keithley just how much they're dominating more than Lee. So I've got to go. I'm going to pick another different one from. I'm going to go Charlie Graham at Keighley. I think he's a
I agree.
Hull lad.
Good pedigree from Hull FC. Yeah.
Yeah, got one of them that's done it. You know what I mean? When people take when they take the thing to at a young age to go to League One and go out and kill it. In the 2 years he's been at Keighley, he's been brilliant. So I'm going to go. I think he's probably destined to maybe move up. Obviously, if they get promoted, maybe stay, maybe move on to a bit higher and higher standards. But he'd be my number one. And then I'm going to do the show me bias and pick one of Jimmy's players who probably should have been chosen over his Cornwall lads is Jack Hansen. I think Jack at Swinton, the second in the league.
Yeah.
I think he's a brilliant player, and again, one of them that is going to move up the leagues and be a brilliant player for years to come. I think he will be a remember your name, because Jack Hansen isn't a well-known name, but he should be. And he probably
was a kid, wasn't he? At Wigan as a kid.
Yeah, he was at Wigan.
Yeah, but then
released by Wigan Academy.
I'm sure if you mention a lot of people that now, but I imagine in 3 or 4 years' time, his name will come back. Then
that's fine. That's fine. Look, you can look at Keighley, you can throw in Jane Chisholm and players like that, but to me they're not your League One players. You know, I was going to talk about Lewis Sheridan again at Rochdale, who's had a real strong season, strong goal kicking performances. I like what you say, Craig McNally. I was actually going to go with somebody else, but then I thought to myself, you know, because obviously I have seen a bit of League One. And I'm not sure if you'll agree with this, because a prop forward, or certainly someone in the front row, you probably wouldn't normally think player of the year, but certainly somebody who's Mr. Consistent is Lewis Hatton at Swinton.
Yeah,
and
good shout.
I don't say this lightly. I don't speak to many people at Swinton nowadays. I speak to Ian Rigg, their press officer, and let me tell you,
You haven't been bad from that ground as well.
No. I'm not sure how old Lewis Hatton is, but let me tell you, there's a lot of Championship clubs that are looking at him. A lot of Championship clubs. Whether or not he can do the Brandon Douglas and make that step up like Brandon's done from Doncaster to Sheffield. And let me just tell you, Jimmy, Brandon's performances, we saw how good he was the other week for Sheffield in a very sort of not well beaten, but you know, Bradford obviously dominated in the second half, but Brandon really did stick out. I'd love someone, you know, when we're talking about dyed in the wool League One players, Lewis Hatton, like Jack Hansen as well. You know, I think when you talk about project players, people who could do a job at Championship, and who knows, maybe
they both did stand out in the Championship as well, didn't they? So they can do it.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments if you agree with us. Jimmy's come back from his 10 minutes in the sin bin. He's getting ready for
maybe I was a bit biased.
He's getting ready for the Cornwall special next week,
which
will be a separate show. But let us know your Super League, Championship, League One. If you agree, thumbs up. If you don't, disagree. Basically, feel free. Let us know who's talking rubbish, who's talking sense. Till next time. Bye.